We saw him standing by the silver thing, and he had big eyes.
Hey guys, how's it going? You have your boy Chris. Today I've got a story for you that seems to defy all rationality. Always any story that I've heard out the water. That's why I've decided to make my first video based on this. Some of you may know it as the Ruwa school incident, and some of you may know it as the Roswell of Zimbabwe. But anyway, September 16th, 1994, Zimbabwe. There was about 250 kids in this school out playing in the playground. Teachers were having a meeting. There was one lady, can't remember her name, running some kind of tuck shop at the time, but also kind of keeping an eye on the kids. So as the kids were out playing, they've noticed that there's these objects, several objects in the sky, floating about, going up, down, left and right. So just going past the school into a further field just out the school perimeter. So I believe it was 62 to 65 kids have seen this craft object. So as I went over to investigate, so as the kids have went to investigate, they've noticed that there's this object sitting in between like a tree and bushes. So some say it opened up at the top, but some says it's as if the creature slash alien slash entity, whatever we can call it at this time, has appeared from the top of this object. It was in black clothes, kind of grey, big black eyes, and it's came down, kind of levitated, I'm sure. So some say it levitated over, some says it walked over. Kids claim that they were in arm's reach of this creature around about 1 metre in height. So it just stared at the children. Children stared back at it. As they've been staring at it, a couple of kids have claimed telepathically they were shown the demise of the planet. No trees, people can't breathe, no air, destruction. Definitely a weird one. Definitely a weird one. So we're going to take a look at some of the documentary, the phenomenon, which shows the interviews of the kids in some other accounts. We're not going to go through it all, but we'll go through the main points. We'll give it a watch and we'll see from there.
In 1994, 3 days of sightings across Zimbabwe culminated in what some believe is the most significant close encounter in modern history.
Hundreds of people today phoned the ZBC and the BBC correspondent in Harare saying they sighted an unidentified flying object last night.
So here's the thing, okay, so the news are reporting about flying objects, fireballs in the sky, reported over southern eastern Africa. Now, what they don't mention on the news at the time was it a satellite? The Zenith satellite. I can't remember if it was 2209 or whatever it was called, but it was re-entering the Earth's atmosphere and some boosters broke on the satellite, and that's why there was an array of lights and UFO-like objects. I tried to find information on it. There wasn't much. There was a few articles and a bit on Wikipedia, but there wasn't anything major mainstream. But there was definitely records of this entering 2 days prior to the school incident.
Some eyewitness reports.
It almost seemed to be under the clouds. As it came past, I noticed there's no noise, and that's when I thought, well, there's something very odd here.
It was quite amazing. It was beautiful.
They are saying that Jesus is passing through Africa. That's what they are saying.
We interviewed about 64 children in front of the camera.
The UFO story that happened.
Just say exactly what you want to say, okay?
I was running and playing, and then I saw this maroon color in the sky. Why didn't we follow it? We saw this, like, a silver thing down there. It was a silver oval thing that flew past really slowly.
I saw the bigger one.
and a spaceship, like 4 or 5 of them. It was red, green, and yellow.
There was this big ship. It had these lights, these patterns, and it flew.
I thought, no, it's not a UFO. And then I looked carefully at it, and I thought, maybe.
Dozens of children said that one or more of the disc-shaped objects landed just beyond the far edge of their playground. The next thing they knew, something was standing next to it.
We saw him standing by the silver thing, and he had big eyes.
He had a big head and big black eyes and was dressed in a black bodysuit.
They were wearing pure black. And I came down and I saw the funny man with his eyes here, and I saw a spaceship, and there were a few little ones around it.
Right, so say this, okay, say the kids did see a alien, okay, extraterrestrial, okay, standing arm's length away from this 1 meter little motherfucker, just staring at you, man, not speaking, just staring at you. How fucking terrified must you have been just standing looking at this thing, man, like...
How far away were you when you saw him?
Not very far. Not very far. About a meter away.
A meter away, that close?
Yes.
And how big was the figure?
It was about as big as a grade 6.
Normally children don't lie.
So sorry to stop again, right, so that lady kind of stated something that I believe is right and wrong at the same time. Children don't lie, okay? Now, everybody lies, but there's a kind of innocence to children. And same again, I'm not a psychologist, I don't know how to analyse the human behaviour. When you watch these kids speak, there's just something about them, it looks as if they're telling the truth, do you know what I mean, man? I don't know, but it's a weird one. It's definitely weird.
It seemed that he was looking at all of us.
What did it feel like when he was looking at you?
I felt scared.
It felt scary? What was scary about it?
Well, I felt scared because I've never seen such a person like that before. And I saw this person, and it had big eyes. That's all I saw about it, big eyes.
They had short legs and quite a long top.
Mm-hmm.
With a big head and eyes that are bigger than ours.
How much bigger than ours?
4 or 5 times the size.
4 or 5 times the size of ours.
So then I was looking at him, right?
Yeah.
Then he was looking at me back. How could I just keep on looking at him, so I had to stop and I looked sideways. But I was looking straight into his eyes. Well, he never said anything. It's just that the face is the eyes. Maybe they're trying to communicate with us, show us something which we don't know about. I think they want people to know that we're actually making harm on this world and we mustn't get too technologed.
So this is the thing, right? So the children are saying, I think they are trying to tell us something, and then one's speaking about the demise of Earth. So yes, when I watched the full interview with the kids, I felt as if the dude interviewing kinda used a lot of questions to fulfill his narrative, to justify that these kids did see a spaceship and aliens and the telepathic speaking. Yes, it's definitely a tough one to tell.
Look after the planet, and all the trees will just go down and there will be no air and people will be dying.
Is this an idea you have had before, or did this idea come to you when you had this experience?
When I had this experience.
For the first time in nearly 20 years, the Ariel school children gathered from the 4 corners of the world to talk to each other about the experience they shared that September morning.
I remember something there.
One they all still struggle to understand.
You know that it's moving, but you...
I stand by what I saw. There was no reason for any of us to make that up.
So this is where it gets me, okay? It's... what's that? So 1994. To this day, they're still claiming what they've seen. They're still claiming that it's not a hoax. And they're still telling their story as it is. Do you know what I mean, man? They stick by their guns. There was a part of me that believes that, oh, they did see something, but what did they see? And was it a case of mass hysteria, where one kid, two kids see something, all of a sudden they all start screaming, and then stories start spreading, and kids start seeing things then because one friend seen something, the other seen something. But to this day, they still stick to their guns and tell the story as it is, man. It's tough one.
To anybody about it. Not because I'm not proud of it, but because I don't want the stigma.
So it's something that I've had to deal with for 19 and a half years.
I don't want to say I felt like I knew it, but I knew that I didn't have to be afraid of it.
They took us back to the moment of contact.
Exactly how I felt, exactly.
The details still seared into memory.
I was with one of the other girls and saying to her, this is amazing.
We all were just stopped in our tracks.
A little man appeared on top of the actual craft. And that moment for me was very distinct because I was like, that's not human.
Well, I was just completely engulfed in these eyes.
The eyes, and in that moment, however long it was, because I have no idea of the time frame, it was mesmerizing.
There was no talking. It's all just images in the head. Telepathic communication.
They were trying to communicate, trying to tell us something. It was something to do with the environment.
I kept getting these thoughts and ideas in my mind of technology. Technology's not helping, technology's bad.
And we're going down a wrong path, and we have to start recognizing that what we're doing is detrimental, and we need to make changes. And I don't know what to do with that, or they were reaching out to us. It was as if they wanted us to go with them. At that moment, that was kind of when I snapped right out of the trance.
As soon as I broke contact, all of those feelings, technology, the bad, the horribleness that was happening and going around my body at the time went.
It's making me a bit anxious being back here.
I can feel it right now. I was scared.
They came running up here in such a panic, screaming, ah, and they were here, you know, and a child can't make that up.
So I was there when they were interviewing them and saw the way they were. It was just a huge big mess and muddle up and just people everywhere.
The mother of Emma, as we call it, has explained herself. She was there when the interview was happening. There was a whole muddle up. It was basically a mess. So you could imagine when these kids were getting interviewed that even if they were in groups, one child hears a part of a story, adds it into their own. Before you know it, there's a lot of contamination of stories, and then we're not really getting the true story, which is a shame really, because if they were interviewed at the start of it, I think we would have got more of a truer story from it, because I don't disbelieve that these kids didn't see something, but I just don't know, man. I just don't really know.
Just ask them questions straight off without explaining to the children what they were doing and why they were doing it.
It was chaos in terms of the media frenzy that was going on and us being so young and not even being allowed time to comprehend what we had seen. Our teachers certainly didn't believe us, so that was a big deal because we had to continue going to school there.
We went back one last time to the Ariel school to meet with Judy Bates, a teacher at the time of the incident, and now the headmistress. Something was weighing on her that she wanted to tell the children.
Yeah, I said I wanted to apologize. I should have taken more notice. But I didn't. I was more concerned about me and not them.
and what was going on in my own sort of experience. And that's what, yeah.
I mean, when we sum it all up, man, maybe an alien spaceship landed there. Maybe there was an alien who spoke to the kids telepathically, telling them the demise of the Earth and technology's getting used for the worse. But then again, you've got 3/4 of the kids who have seen absolutely squat, nothing, seen zero. Cynthia Hind, I think her name was, the person who took the interviews, also didn't really make it any better by interviewing the kids in groups where the contamination of stories would have been a factor, but also trying to give more credibility to the story by saying that the kids wouldn't have really known about UFOs and whatever else. They wouldn't have watched TV or nothing, but on the days in the lead up to that, there was a whole UFO frenzy on the news and on the radio because of the re-entry of that Zenit satellite and then the booster breaking off. So yeah, so let me know what you think in the comment section. Was there an alien? Was there a spaceship? Did the kids telepathically communicate with the alien telling them that we're screwing Earth up through technology? Or did they see nothing? Got to remember, there was 250 kids in that school and 3/4 of them seen nothing. Or was it due to the mass hysteria through the media? Yeah man, let us know what you think.